Yo, what's up, folks? Where y'all at? Mm, mm. Bow, what's up? BrandMan, you in NYC? All right. Where else we got here? Where everybody from, man? See what y'all up to. Thank you for your content. You welcome, man. You welcome. Been working on some stuff for a good minute, man. Got some stuff coming soon, very, very soon. But I ain't gonna talk about that too much here. What it do? Staten Island, LA, Denver. I'm a Latin recording artist from Boston. Okay, Phoenix. Joey Badass gave you props on your work. That's what's up. Hey, hit that subscribe. But Chicago, Orlando, Miami. My stuff is underrated, man. I appreciate that, man. If it's underrated, I got to do better with my branding, dog. You know, I'm so busy branding other people. I don't even brand myself that much. Let me see what we got. DC, Dayton, East Orange. Hey, yo, my people from South 13th Street, bro. Let me see. In LA, Texas. All right, cool, man. I got a few minutes, just a little bit of free time. What's some questions y'all have, man? Let's talk. We talk about anything. You don't even have to be regular artists and branding, marketing and brand. Let's just talk for a second. Atlanta, that's what I'm talking about, bruh. No problem, no problem. I got a trademark. Hit that subscribe button. I just might. I just might. Phoenix. No, that's not Phoenix. Pretoria, South Africa. Okay. I need to hit that up. How's life? Life is good, man. I feel better than I have in a long time. To be real, I had like some run-ins with the doctor about January. They told me I needed to get some stuff together. So I've been working real hard, working out, eating right. Let me see. How did you get into helping people brand? Oh man, it happened pretty organically. I was helping people with business and marketing in general. Almost, I don't know, all my life it seems like people. I've just always been super interested in people, and people been. I'm in business, and people gravitated to me for that reason. I've always been super entrepreneurial. People ask me questions, and somehow, I don't know, I ended up where I am, bro. I actually went to school for computer science originally, flipped to computer information systems, so I wasn't even thinking about that. I was hustling and doing all this kind of stuff on the side, but that was like just for fun. I wasn't even trying to do it for a job, bro. Let me see. Did you want to be an artist before you became a brand and marketing man? Do you work with any artists that have a large fan base? These are my two questions I would love to know the answers to. All right, yes. Well, no. All right. No, I did not want to be an artist, really. But I was freshman year. So this had to be, I'm like 18 years old. I had four roommates. It was one of those, four people, no, three roommates, four people in a room. One guy is a producer, super dope producer. Another dude was a music manager type. Both of them were also in band, and the other guy is a producer, songwriter. All of them were super musical and actually wanted to be involved in music for their careers, and pretty much doing it in some way, some form of fashion. So I was around that. That just is what it is, and they created like a little group. I was rapping in the group, because I could rap, but I wasn't. I really didn't want to be like known as a rapper or anything. That was just I was in it because it was fun, but they were like real serious about it. I was more interested in the business side. I work with artists that have a large fan base. I do most of what I do at this point is more projects, or more consulting, very high level stuff. But I work with some people that have had some considerable success on the charts, top 13, 10, in different countries, depending on everybody. Most people honestly are not in America, so that's a whole nother thing. But I'm really shifting how I think about marketing and branding. I know a lot of you guys might have all told me I should be a manager before and things like that, and I never really wanted to be that. No, I didn't really want to be at a record label. So it made me step back. I took a huge step back in everything I was doing about a year ago, and just had to really figure out where I wanted to go forward. But we'll talk more about that later. How should I manage myself and my collective label? You're trying to manage yourself and a label. When you have a whole collective, I would say once at something like that, either you need to be behind the scenes and pushing one of the other artists first. Like it needs to be completely practical. Who is the easiest to blow up in your squad? All right, and focus on that person, whether that ends up being you. So you get everybody to put their energy towards you and resources, or it's somebody else. And you being the label person, I don't know how much clout you already have, fan base you already have, awareness and things like that. If you aren't instantaneous, like obviously that person that should be winning. When I think about just human nature and the way a lot of groups work, you should probably kind of just fall back on that part of your brand for a while and put that energy into other people. Because if I'm an artist and I'm like, yo, you're supposed to be managing me or my collective, but you are worried about yourself and you're trying to make everything about you. That's just one of those things that you kind of have to watch out for. I don't know the situation, so that's just some general perspective. The hardest working man on YouTube. Hey, I don't know about that, man, but I appreciate it. I do work hard. I keep my eyes on my own page though, for the most part. Yo, what up, BrandMan? Let me see. Is paying people thousands of dollars to get signed really worth it? You're paying other people to get signed? That's wild. Who finessed that situation? Because that's the wave now. Executives and celebrities are asking for thousands or even hundreds to consider raw talent. Nah, I didn't even know that was happening. Well, okay. I mean, I could assume it's happening one way or another, but it sounds like it's straight up. Hey, you give me $100,000 and I'm gonna consider you or get you on my label. Nah, that's stupid. That's completely backwards, man. Let me see. Bookit Money Entertainment. Can a artist script the events that take place both negatively and positively in their career as a means to build their brand awareness? Can an artist script the events that happen in their career both negatively and positively as a means to bring awareness to themselves? The answer is yes. You can script negative and positive events. That's well documented that many people have done that. Allegedly 50 Cent said that he went off on some executives and was throwing tables and chairs at him or whatever, and that played into his image, but it never even happened or something like that. There's a lot of artists these days where they talk about the beefs that are happening, but it's really just for social media to bring attention. People fake relationships for attention. That happens all the time. That's a completely common thing. And then there's obviously fake negative things that supposedly happen as well. You can't script everything. The way I think and generally is more so be able to use what is happening to your own advantage. It's like jujitsu. I'm not a huge martial arts expert, but I think jujitsu is the right martial art that I'm thinking of, where you use the energy get somebody. That's how I think about marketing, right? Like bow was something I was just saying, really to give myself energy, right? But it was something that I kept moving with as I saw the effects, right? There's a lot of things that happen and that are happening that you can literally brand if you pay attention to it. So you could be doing it and it's natural to you, but then when you see people react to it, it's up to you to be attentive and be aware of stuff, to say, yo, you know what, there's something there and I should own it, because that's what you see with a lot of people. There's a lot of opportunities to brand stuff, but a lot of times they miss that boat because they don't own it. You literally have to take ownership of it. Like the Issa with 21 Savage. He didn't have to own that. It started because of him, just because of that interview that went viral, blah, blah, blah. It's a knife. But if he never owned it, he would have never gotten that additional traction and wave and even what's the word, credit for it being him. So he could have missed that boat, and that happens with people in one way or another all the time. Let me see. What's another question? One of the best things I heard you say in your vids: good content never fades. Good content never dies. I know what you're talking about. What I love to see you address is recycling older content and possible ways to re-release. Possible ways to re-release content. That's super contextual, bro. Like, that stuff probably gets on people's nerves when I say things like A/B test or just contextual, but that's literally how I think. It annoys me when people do that to me, but it's really the truth. But let's say the best thing you can do is understand the new marketplace and understand how people perceive your song and things that it could be used for, right? So, all right, things like twerk songs are obvious, right? Or things that have a little bit of humor to it are, because you can get kids to have fun to it, even if it wasn't for them originally. And even if you think about the Running Man Challenge, when that blew up a few years ago, I don't know how long but I think that's been a minute now. But that blew up, and that created all this traction for the song. There was two things going for it. One, it was a hit of its own in its own time, but then you start having these other people do this dance to it. It creates this interesting mix. So it's two things. If you're talking about a song that never really took off in the first place, I don't even think of it as re-releasing, because to people who have never seen it before, it was never released. That's their first time hearing it. So if it just takes off, right, it just feels like a new song. Most people don't find out that it was old till later. So I think of it as opposed from re-releasing, having a second chance to do it right. The landscape has changed because there's a lot of music that was dropped ahead of its time. There was a lot of music that was dropped at a bad time. And now you say, you know what, this song, there was something there. I feel like it was more to get out of it, and then just figure out what the situation is, whether that's had something to do with makeups, girls with makeup, whether that has something to do with a movie and you're on a soundtrack and now suddenly you blow up, or, you know, a funny dance, whatever it is, it just makes sense. Can I make a video on why artists don't make it? Honestly, man, particularly when you talk about the industry, most artists don't make it because of business. Like, just straight up, bro. It's all business. Like, we talk about the talent and all that stuff, and people complain, oh, it's not about talent, or talent's only this much. But in some ways, it should be that way. When we're talking about the music business and money going behind things to get things at scale. So what you'll find is people don't want to spend time like with people who don't have their teams together, right? Because they aren't going to be effective. There's a lot of artists that have great talent, but then they're lazy, or they don't have money at the time. And then when they do get money, the team stuff isn't together. When the team is great, the money's not right. It's a lot of that, and just missing those connections. I see that with more people, and just even think about my own life in general, then, oh, it was the talent, and maybe even not even necessarily not having a team. Is really just bad timing in a lot of situations. But you'll see people like, I remember with Designer, a lot of New York DJs were mad at Designer or felt a way about Designer because Panda blew up, and it blew up on the internet. And when it blew up, he was going everywhere except for really with New York DJs. And New York DJs really did help support that song and help it go to a certain level or continue its trend. So when he went to the Breakfast Club for an interview, they were like, yo, man, like, you know, we were feeling away. And that was a sentiment of a lot of New York DJs. And when stuff blows up that fast and you don't take the time to build the relationships, that puts you in a bad position. That's one thing. And that comes back to the business, the connections, or the team's ability to execute. So to me, it's far more business than a lot of this other stuff. And when I'm saying business, I'm not even just talking about money. It's really just the ability to execute, bro. Or not being allowed to execute because you're locked up in contracts. Like, it's too much. I see too often people talking about, oh, this person fell off or blah, blah, blah. And it's really, you don't know this person can't release music for the next year and a half because they're in the contract. Or you don't know this person just decided, hey, I'm gonna chill for a while, and maybe that wasn't a good decision for their career. You know, I want to have this baby, or whatever the situation is, or I'm getting screwed over, or I'm depressed, whatever it is. But a lot of times it's things that affect the way things go business wise, and it just goes left. Let me see. Dagan, I feel like yes, because people beat for other people on top songs. Can you make a video about what artists? I see that question like 50 times. Are there any more? What's up, man? My name is Lee Harris. I just wanted to let you know my name. You gonna hear about me soon. All right, Lee. Let me hear about you, bro. I feel like I'm really gaining a fan base. What do I do? If you really gaining a fan base, Matt App or Matap, however you say that, if you're really gaining a fan base, it's in your best interest to one, ensure that you have people to move with you while you scale, some tight knit team, or just start looking into that as a situation. But two, figuring out how to capture that fan base and stay in touch with them, especially while it's early on, so those people can remember you as you build up and remember how you treated them and made that close connection. Because you got to make that close connection until it gets too hard and you got too many of them, and then it's just weird, and you don't know which fans are trustworthy, or if they're gonna hug you or do some weird stuff or stalk you. You know what I mean? So you got to make that connection now. And that's that extra work, like answering DMs and things like that. Trust me, it gets hard to answer every DM after a certain point. My rap name is Lil Noodle. All right. Noodle the rapper. That's an interesting name. Russ's team off by playlisting and grand promotion. That's dope, man. I didn't know that. That's cool. If Russ's team offers that, I might look, whip out a track or something like that and tell Russ to put me on. Hardest moment is when you're the closest, and that usually is never talked about. I have sold over 100K hard sales, millions of streams, major fact, etc. The last mile is a killer. Love your work. Appreciate it. Chris Porter, how come you sold so much? Like, need to hear more about that story, man. Put some more in the comments. Oh shit. It says I don't really feel like I'm gaining a fan base. That's what my tap said. Look, bro, well, yeah, I don't know enough about your whole artistry to I actually answer that. What else do we have? Okay, one more because I like your responses. What is one of your favorite branding marketing campaigns you witnessed unfold successfully and unsuccessfully? Kind of two, one of each. Right off the top, I'm gonna just have to go with Tierra Whack World project, just because of the attention to detail. I love stuff that spends more time on the creative, so you have to do a lot less on the back end. All right, she like the fact that she took the 1 minute song thing, which I predicted in the video that there are gonna be artists doing stuff like that, and made it a whole album out of it. And people don't understand it's not because she had 1 minute songs that made it popular and such a big name or a narrative. It was because she did a whole album of them. And that became an interesting narrative, because there's a lot of people who have 1 minute songs, but when you actually own it, I just talked about that with the 21 Savage, right? She made a whole album of 1 minute songs, and then she was able to own it as an album and push that narrative and talk about it and create a talking point. Because y'all got to realize, these journalists, you might have like a journalist or a writer or whoever media outlet take a narrative that's really good and in your favor, but most of the time you can't really gamble on that. So you have to say what's going to be that thing that I like, that I want people to know, and what's going to spread and be an easy snippet for people to share and remember. And somebody having an album of 15-minute songs, of 1 minute songs, then that's very memorable. So you intentionally decide to share that narrative and then get other people to repeat it. Oh, so they know you're the artist with that. Of course, obviously it was super creative in the way she went about it, but basically because you have 1 minute songs, you actually had 15 music videos. They were full music videos. These weren't teasers on Instagram. They were full music videos because the song were only a minute long. So I like the fact that it was so transferable to different mediums. Let me see. Do you think TikTok or similar apps will last, or are they just a part of the trap wave? Nah, they're not a part of the trap wave. They will definitely last. I think those things are far underrated, and I'm gonna leave it at that for now. They are underrated. There might be an evolution that comes out of them into some kind of new app that's more, I don't know, sustainable. People aren't using it as much for business. So the thing I don't like about it is it's reliant on the fun, the hype, the novel portion of it. So until it figures out how to find fans, until people figure out how to utilize it for business and build brand on it. That's what makes Instagram stay and what made it so much more powerful than Snapchat. Snapchat is obviously powerful in itself, it's dope, but at the end of the day, everything is disappearing. So although that's cool for that and that whole idea, when you look at Instagram, it allows you to build a catalog. It allows you to build a brand, right? You do work, and then people come, and then they could get like, I might discover you tomorrow. I see your page, and I get to know about you, know something about you. You're just building a resume. That catalog portion, that's why people love music, right? We discover an artist, we binge on their content. The idea of building a catalog, whether that's visually, auditory, whatever, you know what I mean? Music, that is such a powerful concept. Let me see. Hey man, I'm up and coming artist out of Rochester, New York. I was wondering, should I drop my singles on Spotify through DistroKid or YouTube? This is Elite Fitness. Yo, bro, just drop them on both. Spotify and YouTube. What do you mean through DistroKid or YouTube? YouTube has a distribution service. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm not aware if it is, but if you're just really saying, should I do it on Spotify or YouTube? Okay, I see what you're saying. Should I drop my single on Spotify using DistroKid, or should I drop it on YouTube? Why not do both? Honestly, yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't do both if you can. I don't know if it's like a financially strapped thing, but why not? Yeah, go ahead and put it out on both. People got to realize. So even when I talk about focus and things like that, you can put your music on every single platform if you want to, but the idea is focusing your marketing on one at the beginning too. So people can still discover if it's a different place they like it. Cool. You capture them. It's on Apple. It's on, I don't know, Deezer or something like that. But I might only be pushing my campaigns on Spotify, so I get most of the attention through that way. But I capture those other people who just happen to look for me on the other platforms. You got to remember that for the most part, wherever you push and create attention around, that's what people know. They don't even know the other stuff exists unless they actually love it enough to go look for the other stuff. I want you to listen to my track for an honest opinion. I'm not listening to tracks right now, man. Let me see. I'm about to drop a single. I have a plan, but I don't know if I should put the money on myself and do my own ads, or should I pay someone? Okay, this is Kaon Nick. Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm actually about to drop a Facebook ad course very, very soon, bruh. Because people have been asking me about this for so long. I'm gonna drop something like that. So the idea is for you to be able to save money from having to pay other people and be able to get the most out of yourself, or at least know enough where you hire people who actually know what they're doing. Because a lot of people are hiring people who are really learning on their money, and it's cool. Everybody's always learning, but like wasting the money, that's a whole nother thing. But I would start by maybe trying a little bit yourself at the beginning, like $100, $200. I don't know what the money situation is like for you, but if you can at least get a feel, a taste for it, it's good for you to know a little bit about Facebook ads, even if you know you're not going to be the person ultimately. But in this indie culture, this DIY, and just you starting in that situation without a label, go ahead and get a taste for it. And once you get a taste, you'll know if, all right, this is something I just shouldn't be doing, or I need to go educate myself more before I do it, then make a decision accordingly. Bryson Tiller was 30 something working for Ups when he blew up. Bryson Tiller is over 30. Nah. Oh, Ups. UPS. My about tripping. And yeah. He was working for EB. I'm about to Google this right here. Bruh, ain't no way. Golly. Bryson Tiller was 30. Let me see how old Bryson Tiller is. Man, it says Bryson Tiller is 26 years old right now, man. What you talking about? You tripping. Hey, but Google, I ain't saying Google always tell the truth, but right now I'm gonna say Google. It's 2 against 1, man. You're gonna have to prove to me that they 30. Uh, let me see. Man, y'all commenting too fast. How should someone drop a debut single and two or three singles after that to make the album sell and go diamond? Bruh, look, I'm not even going like that. It's way too many. When we're talking about diamond, there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm gonna keep it more realistic and just say, if you have when you talk about a debut single, you need to be thinking about that and pushing that. If it's really that song, you need to be pushing that thing for a good minute after you drop it. One, to make sure you get the most out of it, because a lot of times people move on to the next one before they got everything they could about it that first one. And two, you need to learn more about that process so you can apply that process to the later singles. So you should look at everything as get the most of it as I can, and then also learn so I could apply what I did from the first thing to the next thing. And every single and track should look like that. That's the best argument for me too for our new artists not to be dropping full projects. But me, I'm not the person who always says, don't drop a full project, just drop singles. I know it's popular, all that to say that, because today is built on singles a lot of times. But at the end of the day, I believe it's pretty much irrelevant, because if it's dropped, if nobody knows it, to me, it's not dropped. You know what I mean? So if I drop 5 songs, call it an EP. If I only focus on one song, that one song will bring attention to the rest of the songs. These other songs really don't even exist anyway. And then maybe 4 or 5 months from now, I might decide to push one of those other songs. Who cares when it was released? Really, the industry is looking a little bit more at the release more than a lot of the fans. Fans might just hear and be like, "Oh shoot, this is dope." You can create buzz different ways. I understand. A lot of that stuff comes down to preferences and branding type shit. But what is this? 0 to 30? What are they talking about? I ain't too old at 52. Savage. What y'all talking about? I missed it. Are you experienced with Google AdWords? Yeah, I got a little experience, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I started on Google Ads, man, back in it's probably been 2010. It's almost 10 years now, man. Playing with Google Ads in one way or another. But I don't use like anything I've ever done with music. I haven't really used Google Ads that much, to be honest. Talking about the like SEO search banner ads for too much. I've done the YouTube ad part of Google Ads, but that's about it. Let me see. Is 26 too old to break as a new artist? Hell no, man. Hell no. Specifically as a singer, especially not as a singer. Bro, you straight. Jay-Z didn't start popping until he was like 26, like even dropped a reasonable doubt, I think. A lot of these people are older, man. Future was pretty old when he started popping. 2 Chains. I mean, there's singers out there too. I just can't think of the names. Like I can't even think how old is Ro James right now. Gotta give me an idea of Ro James. Let me see. Ro James age. Ro James is 31. I think it's only been about. Let me see. What's the name? When did Permission drop? That was the one where he really kind of pushed through. Permission dropped. Sorry, y'all. I gotta get these facts straight in my head. 2015. Yeah, 4 years ago. So he was 27 when he started moving. Look at people like Anderson .Paak. Well, I mean, he had been moving pretty heavy for a while, but that last project of his is amazing. I have a question. How late is too late to make a music video for a track? I mean, it depends on what the track did. If the track didn't really do that much, then what does it really matter? I mean, is it worth making it? That's the first question. And if you think the music video will add to it, there's a lot of times where some songs need music videos to contextualize them and bring that vision to life. So it honestly could be a huge benefit, no matter how late it is after the song drop. It could be the thing that actually pops the song. Now, if your song blows up and it really does something, then I think the clock is more ticking on whether it's too late or not. Like, oh, you got 6 million people listening to it regularly, and then you want to drop a music video 10 months later. Okay, nah. But the other way around, you don't have that many listeners almost any time. It's really a matter of your resources. Everything comes down to this. What are your resources and the quality of your music? And just leave it at that. Like, of course, you got to, yeah. What are your resources? Because that determines what you can do. Everybody has to make a decision based on the resources they have available to them. Do I manage artists, bands, musicians? None of that, man. I've been very close to it, and when that's not something I desire or ever have desired to do. Man, it's getting hot. But I've been close to it where you almost could, you might have considered me a manager like maybe 3-4 years ago or something like that for short periods of time. But it was more so just helping out intensely. Dang, I saw a comment that looked like it was going to be good and then it just disappeared. Let me see. If you are 26 old, that's way too young. You should wait till you're about 86. That's the perfect age. Y'all wilding. Good music doesn't care about age. Nope. Like, especially when people hear songs. If it's a good song, man, like, and I just hear it on Spotify, I'm not thinking about when did this come out. Let me go look up when it came out. Like that. A lot of this stuff, man, like people worry about because y'all are too close in the process and y'all are overthinking some of this marketing and branding stuff. Right? Like, don't do that. Or y'all are in this world where y'all are always talking to people who are judging other artists and what you do, and you're thinking too much about that stuff. But the average fan don't care about that stuff. Just like this whole industry plant stuff. That's why I tell people to stop worrying about it. It doesn't matter. It's like it's a waste of your time to be paying attention to somebody else's process and trying to judge what they are. Are they quality or not to you? Are they real or not to you? Are they credible or not to you? Because the fan does not know. The fan doesn't. The general consumer fan, like this seems like it's a big world because you're in this bubble, but most of the people are not aware. Most people haven't even heard the term industry plant. I challenge y'all, like, go around and ask a lot of y'all friends that aren't like your friends who might be in the business and stuff like that. Go around, start asking random girls, hey, like, do you think, I don't know, Lil Nas is an industry plant? Do you think Russ is an industry plant, or anybody they've accused of that? And they'll be like, what's an industry plant? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it's really just a different way of having resources getting your way to the top. Stop judging how other people play the game or get to one way. There's nothing that's outside of, values and integrity. Like, what's the problem? If I have a rich parent, I'm not gonna be like, don't spend your money on me for me to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, or try to act like I'm not rich. I'm gonna use my situation to get where I go. Everybody's supposed to use where they are and flip it and to make it bigger, not try to go down to appease other people. That's like stupid ego stuff. What's up, Sean? I appreciate you for dropping knowledge consistently. I wholesale real estate and just leased a warehouse space. I also am an artist just starting out. What's the best way to promote? Bro, you out here wholesaling, dog? Man. Jacory and I were talking about that. What Jacory was telling me, he was interested in that, man. Wholesaling it sounds dope. Honestly, I just really, really deeply learned about it. Probably last month when I was speaking at a conference, or maybe that was earlier this month. How do you start though? Bruh, like the how do I start question, it's hard for me to answer, honestly, man. You gotta just watch the videos and kind of base it on your situation. Get a little bit further down the road and I have a specific question, then I could tell you. But just start with getting your music right and getting other people to hear, get them to judge what your music sounds like. I don't like saying the same question, but I keep getting skipped. What's the same question? Oh, how do you, dang, bro, they keep, as soon as I look for it, that shit disappeared. How do you choose the artist you interview? How do I choose the artist I interview? Most of the stuff has happened pretty much organically, man. That's it. I really try not to interview artists like that, but most of the stuff has happened organically. That's all I can say. Like, I can't even think who's an artist I interview. I got one that hasn't come out yet, and that was me knowing them or knowing about them for about probably like 6 months. I remember I did Moxes when I interviewed Moxes. That might have been the first artist I interviewed. Well, outside of Ryan Leslie, but I think nobody's questioning why I interviewed Ryan Leslie. But I remember Moxes, he was in the comments, and I just remember he was adding a lot of value in my comment section that back then. And the things that he was saying resonated with me. I liked the way he talked. And then I just clicked through his page and start checking him out every once in a while. And I probably was keeping tabs on him for maybe like 3 months. And then I was just like, yo, bro, you want to do an interview? Because I think what you're doing is something people can get value from. And it was that simple. You know what I mean? Most times when people ask me for an interview, like, well, yeah, it's pretty much going to be a no, because I need to see value, and I'm asking people. I see something and I want to help that thing get expressed to the audience so they can get that value. And hopefully there's some other things that I can get out of it that are a particular space and audience. Oh, this thing went out. I don't know if it's still out. Okay, cool. Because you got to remember, like, I'm not a journalist. Like, I'm not trying to interview big people or big brands or something like that for clout. You know what I mean? Or to land the big interview. I'm literally just curious. I feel like I want to learn something for them. There's a lot of things I just selfishly, I want to learn something. I see what they're doing. I just want to learn. I want to talk. And it's that simple. I don't get too deep in to that kind of stuff. Honestly. Yeah. Mm-mm. Since I'm up, well, if I was reading one now, like that, my own station, how much would that cost? My own station? Like have you on my station? Like a radio station? I don't know, man. Hit me up. Yeah, I gotta know more about that situation in general, but just hit me up. You are a legend. Thanks for putting this info out for free. Hey, man, appreciate that. Dang, man, your name just Wadner Etienne. I don't know if I said that right, man, but I appreciate your comment, bro. Ryan Leslie is so smart, bro. Smart, yeah. Ryan Leslie, man, I really appreciate what Ryan Leslie does, man. His approach and combining the worlds of music and technology, and the fact that he saw value in the impact that he can make through Superphone versus music, and it led him to move into Superphone and spend more time there, because that's how I have been starting to lead my life over the last few years, where I've been working on a lot of things. I used to do so much, too much. And then I started realizing the areas that will have the most impact and follow those. Can you do one on Nipsey? I did an old video on Nipsey. I told myself I was going to do like 2 videos on Nipsey in the last month. I just got so much going on right now, man. And when I do Nipsey, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just throw a video, do some commentary just to get views or like all that kind of stuff, clickbait or nothing like that, just because he passed. I really want to spend time and sit with that and make sure I do it justice. Who's the last artist you became a fan of and how? Dang, I wish I could. That's a good question. The last artist I became a fan of. Well, one, I would say Anderson .Paak, just because I knew of him, and I kept tabs on him, obviously, and all that stuff. But I didn't become a fan until his last project that just dropped, Ventura. But let me think about somebody that's new. Like, I didn't know him, and then I just became a fan. Oh man, I feel like, man, I suck at this question, man. Whenever people ask me about artists, it's like when I would sit down and watch a movie and I forget all the movies I wanted to watch. I can never think of the artist unless I'm just listening to them. I'm gonna come back to that. Who's the last artist you became a fan of? How? Dang. Yo, if I had 3K to push a song, what would you recommend me? If you had 3K to push a song, what would I say do with it? Once again, let's start off and say it's a little contextual, but if possible, I would start with some playlisting, or to the safest thing, I would say, if it's high quality playlisting, I would just say playlisting. outside of that, man, you have to be very selective with influencers, not only because of, you know, scams or influencers that don't actually have influence. Even when we're talking about high quality influencers, we're just in a space where Instagram, particularly, because that's what people think about when they think about influencers a lot of times. When we're talking about Instagram, is getting suppressed so much. There's a lot of pages that had extreme value, but there's pages that are dropping their prices because it's just not having the impact. Like they know, and now you can't charge because you're not getting those views. And it's not because the posts aren't high quality. It's Instagram is putting it to where you really have to know this Facebook ad game. That's why I'm really working on getting some Facebook ad stuff out to y'all real soon. But it's some other things. Well, y'all that I'll get on into that on some videos later on. You did a video about Dominic Fike, and I fell in love with him. Wow, that's the answer. That's probably the answer that the last artist I heard and fell probably and became a fan of. It was Dominic Fike, and it's so funny, man. So because I remember someone was like, "Yo, you a sellout, and you know you obviously got paid for this interview." You want to know how I found out about Dominic Fike? Honestly, so Dominic Fike was mentioned in the Little Pump Plan article. And most people focus on the Lil Pump Plan. And I was just like, it said something. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I looked him up. And I think the first thing I came across was Jada Pinkett. And I was like, oh shit. That was hard. This dude looked a little wild, you know, in this video, but I was like, that was hard. And then I like read his story. I think, and I heard something else. And I was just like, yo, all right, I'm kind of rocking with this. Let me follow it. And then I started paying attention. And then when I saw his range, and it was legitimate range, like that's diversity, where like those will be two completely different fan bases. And I hope y'all stayed and watched the DJ's interview, the TJ Chapman interview, Bill Beach manager. If y'all have not watched it, I'm gonna take a snippet of that and drop it later and do a whole like talk around that. But y'all have heard me talk about diversity. If you haven't watched that whole interview, there's a part where he talks about the struggle and hardship that B.O.B. goes through, like just because of his level of diversity, his for real diversity. It's not all berries and rainbows and all that good stuff. Like people have romanticized diversity. People have romanticized. I listen to every type of music. Most people I know do not listen to every type of music, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you know, like. But it's cool these days to say that, so I understand. Let me see. I'll send you $10 to listen to my song from 2013, bruh. I don't know about that, bruh. Really want to take advantage of that and have a quick conversation. Wish you the best. Solid. And I missed some of what you said. How do you market so slowly without blowing up and going viral? Ooh, I like that question. That's Terry Lee or Terry. Oh, Terry Lee. That makes more sense. Terry Lee. I'm gonna say this again. How do you market slowly without blowing up and going viral? Bet. So check this out. One, you be very attentive to a core demographic, right? And when we talk about knowing your niche, we talk about really knowing your niche. And or really understanding what you provide and who will like it. So either you see a market and you know how to play to them, or you play something and then you know how to find people who like that. But and the way you stay in that place is going deep. You go deep with those people to the point that it won't really interest people outside of that. And you do that and you work them, you let that relationship intensity increase. You keep giving value to them. That connection grows, and only them are knowing about you. And they start to wonder, how come you not blowing up? And then from there, you might add another right of people that you speak to. So I'm gonna give you all an example that's just easier for you to understand, because I know it sounds a little conceptual. People ask me a lot of times, how come my channel doesn't have more viewers? And I don't overthink YouTube, for one. I never was trying to like I never even thought, I don't know. a lot of artists would really care too much for this information. Not in the way I was doing it, not originally at least, but I'm not for the BS. If y'all pay attention to my page, like I don't really talk about the gossip or like a lot of those other types of things. So obviously, every once in a while, though, I'll say, you know what, I want to boost the following, or I might focus on something that might go a little bit more viral just because of the topic, right? So you'll have something like a Metro Boomin video or a Dominic Fike video or some of these things that go viral, but it goes viral with the audience that doesn't necessarily care about the core message of this channel that is education based. All right. That's when you see people come in and say, oh man, he's D-Rodding these artists. No, I'm or he's D-Rodding this artist. No, I'm talking about the things that were successful with them to educate other people. I say all that to say that at some point when I have certain music, right, you can call those a hit song. Some of those videos that go viral, those are hit songs. After that, for a given period of time, I'll do videos that only people who actually give a fuck about the actual information, the real information, for, you know, like, so only they would care about it. So I might have a hit song, but it's like, all right, cool, that's there. But now let me make sure I focus on just the information, so I can weed out some of those BSers or some of those people who are just general fans that misconstrue or they don't understand the page. So I try to keep it high quality people. You know what I mean? High quality. So that's either do my subject matter, like, so you attract what you put out. That's probably the best way I could say it. I hope that was clear. I didn't plan to explain that right there, but I watched Triple X and Ski Mask perform on a park bench in front of 25 people. Humble beginnings. Dope. What do you Kayon, what are you talking about? What do you mean what I mean? It's been a minute since, like, you probably wrote that a minute ago. I don't know what the last thing I said. Thank you. I was so confused. Bet Terry got it. Much love to you, man. For sure, for sure. I have 500K subs on the other channel and want to do music, but how do I do YouTube and music without the corny effect? Jordan, bro, you gotta, like, know what? Email me, man. Email me. Go do the work and email me, and then I need to look. If you really got 500K on the channel, I need to see what you have 500K for. You see what I'm saying? And then we could talk about how that translates. But I don't know if you're doing vlogs. I don't know if you're doing prank videos. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't forget Lil Nas X got his game from here, though. Hey, man, I mean, I can't say, I don't know what exactly he got from him, but I saw he did comment. And funny enough, I was actually looking through some old videos for a project I was working on, and I saw a comment of his from like 6 months ago on one of my videos or whatever. And you know, that was obviously before he blew up. So yeah, I don't know exactly the things that he got from the channel was, but he did say thank you, and I just appreciate him saying thank you because he didn't have to do it. What happened to Triple X video he released a while ago? It's gone. That is a fact. It is gone. It is. Look, it be that way, bro. It's just gone. Halfway. That situation was halfway me. There's a lot of videos that are gone down. That's we'll be talking about that more soon. But that X situation, that was just a trickier situation. And yeah, it's harder to talk about that on a one-sided video chat. But basically, where he was and everything that he had going on, although the video wasn't done with that intention, because it was true. There's a lot of people who misconstrue what the video was done for. I didn't want, understanding media and how it works, I didn't want people to take it out of context and apply it to him because of the things he was going on. I had going on. That was like court and everything like that, because I don't make videos for a lot of that other stuff, that BS. And I'm happy I took it down. I'm happy I took that one down. Most videos I don't take down, they get taken down or other stuff happens, but whatever. Will this be posted? Will this be posted, like this live chat? Yeah, might. I got like, I'm gonna do this for like 10 more minutes. Sean, how do you stay motivated? You were always going so hard. Don't you get tired and want to watch a movie or something? Man, I don't watch movies, bro. I don't watch movies. I watch movies every once in a while. But I like lighthearted stuff. I work so hard. I do work hard, but I've been working hard for a long time. And what I've been trying to do is work smarter than hard. You know what I'm saying? I stay motivated. It's really just a discipline and a habit. A lot of times, discipline is the game that I play with myself. And you have to think about it that way. And then I also create structures. Over time, I start to pay attention to my own self. Self-awareness is everything for me. And I try to create structure around myself that acts as insurance for my own shortcomings. Right. So you have to create deadlines for yourself. You have to, if you know you're weak in one area, you have to make sure you're hanging out with some other people that might be able to compensate, or you hire the people, or or you tell somebody to like watch out for you in this space, whatever it is. Or I might start my day, if I know I'm lazy about this, I make it the first thing I got to do today, so I get to the fun stuff later. But I've gotten to the point where I literally list everything I'm gonna do for a week, all my goals, and then the level of priority. I got first, second, and third priority throughout that entire week, and then I still wake up. Well, before I go to sleep, I try to, not every day, but I try to write the 3 most important things that I need to do the next day, even if my list is like 6 things long. If I at least get those 3 things done, then I'm Gucci. And a lot of times those 3 might not get done depending on how things go, but that is what it is. Lil Nas is on the clock right now, Academics TV. Hey man, is Lil Nas on the clock? Um I mean, I think all artists are on some sort of clock in terms of a general perception. I think it's really gonna be interesting what he does. I see the talent there. That's what I like about Lil Nas. The fact that he can go off of so many. I've heard so many various songs that he flowed on so well, or felt like he's like an actor, you know what I'm saying? Like he does a lot of different genres or sounds to the point it feels like it's genuine, authentic. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like a lot of songwriters or really musical people. So those are people who are usually in the background and writing for other people, because I could say, oh, I want to write a song for Rihanna and put myself in a Rihanna space. You don't really see that as much and be successful for people on the front of the scenes unless they know how to navigate it. It's a risky game. So I'm interested. I'm just watching. I wish the dude all the success though. I like the way he's carried himself, and I keep hearing a lot of positive things about how he carries himself, just being respectful and stuff. So I wish dude the best. And he from Atlanta. I don't know if he's from Decatur or not, but he's from Atlanta. So I support. And the biggest thing is Old Country Road, Old Town Road. It doesn't seem like a sound he's going to repeat, right? So it's not like he's building a new genre or trying to keep speaking to that space. It sounds like he's going to be going in different directions almost with every song. So that can mean making a lot of hits, but it might be hard to build a fan base doing that. So we'll see. We'll see. Book of the week, man. Look, we're gonna start sharing books a lot more. I I think I've said this before, but I literally stopped reading at one point, and I used to read like a lot. But I felt like I was reading so much that I just needed to actually apply the stuff or give myself some time to codify and materialize some of those things. But I just started reading back this year. I told myself I was going to do once a month, but I think that might go. It might end up getting back to like 3 a month, honestly. I put I sent the email, man. Also, if y'all are on my subscriber list, you know what I mean, my newsletter, y'all need to find that. Because I sent 7 books that artists should read, and they aren't all like music business books or anything. How do I find a good manager so I don't get robbed by them? But that's a hard question, man. For real, for real. The best I can say is if you find somebody and you're about to come into an agreement with them, you really just need to like do a background check, just like these jobs do, right? Like see if there's other people who can vouch for their character, because that's the thing. Outside of the talent, the character is huge. Jason Derulo, the next Michael Jackson? What you mean? He about to have vitiligo or something? Nah. All right, look, let me be serious. Jason Derulo, I know he's nowhere near comparable to Michael Jackson, and I'm not saying anything as far as his talent. It's really just when you think about the enormity of Michael Jackson, the amount of influence he's had on the marketplace, and Jason Derulo just doesn't have that influence. He's dope, has a lot of pop success for sure, but like when we talk about Michael Jackson, I don't like when we compare people to people like Michael Jackson and stuff because it's unfair to other people. But I can say the closest person to Michael Jackson was or is Chris Brown. He could have really got up there, but the tattoos, the whole rough period. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done that stuff because, you know, your life is your life. Do what you want to do. Like just because other people see stuff for you doesn't mean that's what you should do. It's just what they want. But just talent wise, like good Lord, that dude is ridiculous. Chris Brown is. And because he's like, he can dance, but he also has athleticism that Michael Jackson didn't have. So that part is already a thing in itself. Like, and he has that it factor. How to blow up a song by TikTok, man, you gotta do a challenge. Like there's challenges they let you do, or you gotta pay people, just pay a lot of different influencers and try to hope it catches on. It's kind of that simple. How do you create so many videos? Do you have a team like cameraman, editors, and a system? Do you batch record? The work rate is crazy, or respect that. Jonathan Boyd, batch as much as possible whenever I can. Sometimes that doesn't work out like I want to, but I'm getting pretty disciplined about batching. I'm good at that. And I finally got video editors last August. So it's been about 8 months now. And I still edit videos myself. But up until last August, I was doing like everything. And I had to everything that I'm doing now is so I can figure out how to keep giving value and give more value so things don't become redundant and so I can continue to evolve. So just keep a lookout, man. Just keep a lookout. Y'all hear from me real soon. How do you, let me see. I want to listen to one. We don't mind. You ever think about swooping in and taking DJ Academics' place in the hip hop industry? Bruh, chill. I never could take DJ Academics' place in the hip hop industry. He has thoughts that I would never have. You know what I mean? And he has a fan base that's legitimate, and he built it his own self. You gotta respect that. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't even like to talk about that kind of stuff, honestly. There's a reason you don't see that stuff on the channel. I don't even like to talk about the things that he talks about. Like, even in my real life, like, I got friends that want to talk about stuff, and I'm like, it sounds like gossip. Let me see. Jason Derulo, y'all stupid. What do I have to? K-pop is taking over. Yes, Paige Winthrop. K-pop, man. I've been following K-pop. I got a friend from. Dang, I just forgot where she's from. She going. Whatever. I'm going to her wedding anyway. But she introduced me to K-pop probably in 2012, maybe 2010, 11. And I've been following it since then. I love what they do over there. The fan bases are ridiculous. Now, like, we think that people deal with fan bases over here. Like, the amount of consumption of K-pop artists, like, y'all gotta look that up. It might be an artist. I might do a video on that just cause one day. But it's artists that they feel like they trapped, they in a cage for real, because fans want them 5 days a week, like in person tours, concerts, like it is ridiculous. It's a completely different level of culture and fanaticism. Winley from New Zealand. Here I am crafting my work. When I am ready, release. Can I still build a fan base without having an EP? 100%, bro. You can build a fan base without having an EP. You can build a fan base with a couple of songs. Like, even if you have one song, just because you only have one song. So because I know we kind of allude to this type of subject a lot, and I might even have said it straight up. Like, you can have one song and actually get a legitimate fan base. But the thing is, it's probably not going to be just from the song itself, because the song might be bigger than you if you do it that way. You have to have a song. If you have one song, the fan base needs to come from the brand and how you express who you are. Like people, what people really sleep on so much from Triple X is a lot of his branding, his fan building was from him, not his music. Yes, his music had a quality that people liked and it connected and people with something, but him connecting as a person and his interviews and the things that he said that you can't even say on songs, what was where he really connected and created a brand. That's why he's a legend. More of how he represented himself outside the music than the music itself. And I'll stand on that. Let's see. How do you get insight about the music industry? Hey man, it's either research or I'm talking to people. It's a combination, man. Like it's whatever. Like so, a lot of it comes from just business in general, like understanding business in general. Sometimes it's not all like if you understand business, it's not really so. It's not that big of a mystery a lot of times when you understand certain things about business because you're following results, not a lot of this fluffy stuff, right? Like you're looking at KPIs, key performance indicators. When this happens, or how do you, what, like go to the source, not looking at all these symptoms. So that's one thing. And then sometimes, yeah, I might have the opportunity to just talk to people. I might run into somebody and get to ask them a short question, or they might talk to me, or whatever. There's various situations when it comes to various videos. But there might be one in a video where I'm telling straight facts. Like I know for a fact I might have talked to somebody, and then people will be like, "Oh man, this is just your opinion." Cool. It is what it is. I don't need that validation. No Facebook group, guys. Hey man, I have a group that I started. You guys have a let me see. I have been doing Facebook and Discord, but now we're just gonna stick with Discord because Facebook, I don't like the experience. I want it to be like I was really looking at Discord or Reddit, but Reddit that's just a whole nother situation. I got more control over Discord, so you guys, we're gonna start chopping it up on Discord a little bit every once in a while, doing some special shit. You should be a music consultant or start your own record label. I am a music consultant, but no, I'm not interested in a record label. That's too deep. That's too deep. I like my position in terms of just talking to people, giving value, maybe some project here and there, but I'm not interested in that level of involvement in certain things. Let me see. All right, 2 minutes. Do you meditate and believe in the law of attraction? Last time I'm asking. This is the first time I seen it. Good thing you kept asking. You attracted my answer to this question. Gabriel, man, I'm gonna try to say this last name just because Fuentes. Man, I know I messed that up. But no, I do not meditate. I have meditated before. I tried that for a period of life. But that doesn't really work for me as much. I'm not saying it doesn't have any positive effect, but overall, what works for me is getting up for something and actually enjoying and having a bigger vision. And that's what drives me and keeps me more in that space. And my biggest problems have been in times where I really didn't know what the heck I was doing. I might have been busy doing a lot of stuff, but there was no personal vision I had for myself. So even when I was succeeding or I'm helping a lot of people or I'm doing this or that, it's like, yeah, that's cool. And everybody like, oh, Sean, you're awesome. And you're doing this and doing that. But me on the inside, I'm like, but I don't know where I want any of this to go. Or I don't know what I want as a larger picture. I don't know if I want to market art for artists. I don't know if I want to have a label, or I don't know if I want to be in music in general, right? Or I don't know if I want to work for somebody. I don't know if I want to be an entrepreneur. Like when I have my mind's all over the place like that, That's when the biggest problems like occur as far as um, yeah, that's when the biggest problems occur. Like meditation is focus. That's my meditation. And I guess that's all. I mean, really, isn't that what you're trying to do? Right. So if I can focus on working out or if I can focus on building this company, right, then I'm pretty much good for me personally. That's why I like basketball too. Like, cause I can just play and I'm focused on the game. I'm in the moment. Mm, ooh, somebody talking about something. I don't know what kind of back and forth y'all having. Two more questions. I just met and submitted a song to Coach K. Didn't get a response, but I'm working on a better song to give him next time I'm back in ATL. That sounds dope. Official, yeah. However, you got to run into Coach K. Um, obviously he's killing the game. Mm-mm. Your videos have been incredibly informative. I want to thank you for your content. Appreciate it. It's a more or more. Which one is that? I wonder. Do you have any ideas on finding an audience in the US if there is a language dialect barrier, like Jamaican UK accents, for example, from Ikem or Akeem Smith? Yeah, bro, play off of it. Like represent that other thing for them and be the person that stands out. Like you be from that place and connect with them that way. Play that up a little bit and then make dope music using that image. Because there's a romanticization, that's probably what I meant to say, of the other, the exotic. All right. Like you go to UK with an English accent, don't nobody care. You know what I mean? But over here, it's some girls that are like, yo, your accent, or if people just like you sound funny. It's a mechanism to stand out. You just got to figure out how to own it and not just have to. Yeah, you just got to figure out how to own it. Let me see. I got one. Nah, I don't know how would I do that. I got one song trending on every platform, but I can't get the rest of my music to pick up on the same audience for some reason. How would I do that? Well, one, what if the music's trending on every hop on every platform? Then I'm assuming okay, it's trending on Spotify. Then you can use a platform, something like Hyperflow on DistroKid, get it back out to the same people when you drop another song, or you can use Facebook ads if you're able to get out with those. If you are have some mechanism to collect the data on whoever these people are, and then retarget them. Those are the main things. Or if you're getting picked up on any particular playlist, get another song on those playlists. You have to figure out a way to find out who is listening, because then you can get another song back out. Because you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna market this other song hard too," because there's so many people in the world. 1 million people might have heard this song, but you could be marketing the next song to 1 million other people that never heard the first song, and next thing you know, this is like a one hit. You're a one hit wonder in two different categories. You want to keep delivering value to one group of people as much as possible, or as many of the same people as possible. All right, last question. Last question. Bro, you on like 100 playlists, man? Yeah, you gotta sit down and figure out how to get on some. Reach out to those playlists, bro. Reach out to those playlists and see how you can get another one on there. Is it just me, or all these questions are something people should be asking themselves? I don't know, bro. Should you be asking yourself that question? Thanks for the info. Even though you didn't answer my question, I feel like I got more answers. No problem. Hey man. All right, man. Um, hey man, you better put it in the comments. JP, put it in the comments real quick. I'm gonna give you one shot. All right, cool. Well, we done, man. Good sitting with y'all. Y'all have a good one, bruh. It was fun. I just had a little bit of extra time and wanted to chop it up with y'all. Yeah. Peace. Once I figure out how to actually close this thing down, I guess I should say hit that subscribe button.